Okay, because we're maximizing on these hours that we have, I want to talk about the exercise we're going to have beginning next Tuesday in our class. And for those of you who are watching the videos, I want you to learn how to listen to the Lord even during maybe church services or when you're praying for people, to even follow this ABC exercise, and maybe even find 2 or 3 other people where you can practice this ABC exercise. It can be very, very practical for you. Next Tuesday, I'm going to start off by talking about a word of wisdom and a word of knowledge, and how you begin to walk into those gifts. As I told you in the 1 Corinthians 12, the 9 gifts there, I firmly believe that every one of us can walk in those gifts if we learn what we need to do and we understand biblically what is available there. But let's maybe we can point this or the PowerPoint or whatever. I'm not even sure if they have it on their PowerPoint, or I'm not even sure that will show up.
It's in the PowerPoint.
Oh, it is in the PowerPoint. Okay. What we're going to do, I think there will be about 8 of us, so it's divided into 2 groups of 4. Okay. And this is an incredible exercise and after I explain this, I'll explain why it is so incredible. Right? This is all right. In that group, all right, everybody will play the role of A, and then B, and then C's. Okay, and then you will rotate until everyone is at A, everyone will have done B, and the C's are watching the whole process and commenting. So A will share a need briefly. So you don't need to give us your whole life story. You don't need to give a lot of details. Just share a need. It doesn't have to be a deep need. It's just to share a need. Okay, briefly. B will repeat that need to the satisfaction of A. In other words, this part is a listening exercise. Did I hear emotionally what that need really was? Gotcha. Did I hear in my spirit? Not just that I can repeat the need, but can I sense that need and that need as you're sharing that? Okay. B repeats the need to the satisfaction of A. Then B, and here's the key. Before you pray, you ask God, how do I pray into that need? Mm-hmm. You see, we Pentecostals, oh, you have a need, sister? Hallelujah! Brother, glory to God. And what we really need to do is ask God, how do you want me to pray into that need? And I'm going to show you some experiences there, because rather than just praying, there may be some aspect of that need, some angle on that need that God wants you to touch. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you just ask God, how do I pray? Doesn't need a long time if you're ready and waiting on the Lord. It's how do I pray? Then B will pray. Then A will respond to what parts of that prayer spoke to him. Feedback. All right, how did that prayer, were parts of that prayer, did that touch you? Did that really affect you? All right, A will respond to what parts of that prayer spoke to him or her. And then the C's will respond, observe, and then respond to what they sensed in the spirit during that time, the whole interaction, the prayer, what God spoke to them about the need, what God would say to them, to A, and so on, okay? So the C's will observe and then respond to what they sensed in the spirit about the interaction. And then you will rotate so everyone takes a turn to become A, B, and C. I did not realize this was something, when I came up with this exercise, I did not realize that right now, Cleansing Stream Ministries, which is Jack Hayford's arm of deliverance ministry, essentially they do this in, not exactly this, but essentially this, in helping people find deliverance from their past. It's amazing. Where you're waiting, a group of people are waiting with you on the Lord, and they're saying, Is this significant? I'm sensing this is significant. Shall I pray into this way? And then the others are sensing also what God is saying to help them to get to the core of the need and to find deliverance in the ministry. But watch what happens. You'll experience it. Watch what happens. You have, first of all, empathy in mind too. B repeats to the satisfaction of A. Before you just rush in to pray, you are understanding where that need is coming from. Then, and before you rush in, you're saying, God, there might be a different way to pray. This is why when I'm at the altar, I will ask people, tell me basically what your need is. I don't want your whole story, just what, because then I will ask God, how do you want me to pray? And so many times after I've asked God how, tears started coming down their eyes because somewhere you're touching them.
Yes.
You're touching them in the Spirit of God. Okay, so you ask how, then you pray, then you get feedback. You see, that's important. Even when you pray for the sick, it's good to get feedback. Yeah. All right, how are you sensing? What are you feeling? Okay, so here you're getting feedback, a response to what parts of that prayer spoke to him. Then C, observe. And they're part of this, very vital part. And it's amazing. You'll get a word of knowledge here, a word of wisdom here. You'll get a bigger picture here as we minister. I did this in Tonopah with about 40 pastors and wives of the Assemblies of God. It came over incredibly. Once they learned this, and I hope you've jotted down this because I'll just have it up. I won't walk through this exercise again, except that I will divide you into groups and have you do it. But it was amazing, the prophetic utterances that came forth, the words of wisdom, the words of prophecy, and it just happened. And that they just couldn't believe how simple this was when we learned just this simple technique. And one pastor is now doing it with his church on a regular basis. And every time he goes to meet a few other pastors, he explains this ABC thing, and it's amazing what you hear from the Spirit of God. Yeah, Cameron?
When we asked God how to pray for you,
no, you no, you don't verbally say, you just, yeah, right. You just calmly, God, how do you pray? How do you want me to pray? And God may give you a word, a sentence. God may lead your prayer as you begin into several directions, and then and you begin to pray. Okay, but you don't have to wait a long time. You just anticipate and be prepared. But usually we don't stop and listen. Yeah. Usually we go right at prayer.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, great. We'll get.
What I really love in your book when you were talking in the book about miracles and how, healings. You were talking about healings and how God cares more about character and development than your physical healing. And sometimes as Pentecostal people, we want to jump straight into healing.
Right.
And then now it's really changed the way I think. Before I do that, I ask God now, what are you doing first?
Beautiful.
And then pray into that, because we don't know what what he's really trying to do, and maybe he doesn't want right now. Maybe there's something.
That goes against so much teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, man. I had to get over the head.
Yeah.
Because I believed that. That, no, God will not use sickness. And it's like.
Yeah, as if physical sickness was the ultimate enemy.
Yeah.
And no.
He cares more about character and development.
He's working on something else.
Right.
And once that's healed, fixed or delivered, then sickness will.
Yeah. I love when you said that he cares more about your character and development. Like that is like boom. Like, yeah.
And we focus on the wrong thing. Yes, thing. God can heal physically.
Of course. But what is he doing right now with it? So now I'm very careful to ask God, what are you doing first before I go jumping into stuff?